All right, thanks very much for joining us here in Cockburn at Fremantle's headquarters. It's terrific to be here, and first of all, can I wish the Fremantle Football Club all the very best on Saturday against Collingwood in Melbourne. It's going to be an amazing experience, and I know all of Western Australia, or nearly all of Western Australia, will be behind them. And it's obviously against a rival like Collingwood, it'll be a tough game, but considering how well the team did, or how well the team came back last weekend, I'm sure they'll do us proud. So all the best to the Fremantle Football Club on Saturday. Today we've worked with the City of Cockburn, the club, the West Australian Football Commission and the AFL on this new project. So this will be an expansion to the change rooms here at this ground to ensure, or new change rooms, to ensure that the women's team have access to the very best of facilities. And there's an expansion to the broader change rooms to allow for community access to the ground. So this is a $12 million total project, jointly funded between state government, the City of Cockburn, the Fremantle Dockers, the West Australian Football Commission and the AFL to make sure the very best of facilities are provided here. The women's team, the AFLW team, will have their own dedicated change rooms as part of this project, which will mean that they're actually able to have standalone facilities, which you'd expect for any AFLW team. So that's important. And there's a further expansion to the broader change rooms, which will mean that the grounds become more available to the public as well. So this is a terrific joint initiative between football, the state government, local government, to make sure the very best of facilities are provided here. This centre here is highly used and well accessed by the community, and this will mean there's even better access to all of the grounds and facilities here in Cockburn. The good thing about the Fremantle Football Club is the facilities are available out there for the public, so it's very much a community facility and it integrates the community and football very well together. So this will mean that there's greater access, more opportunities for people to get into football, and more opportunities for local people to use these facilities, and also dedicated facilities for our Fremantle AFLW team. I'll hand over to Mayor Howlett, who'll say a few words.
Thank you, Premier, and to the Premier and the Ministers and other members of the McGowan government here today. We thank you and the other partners that have joined with the City of Cockburn in funding this particular project itself, around $12 million in total. The City's putting in about half of that amount, and we always welcome funding from any source to progress our facilities within the City of Cockburn. This facility here, Cockburn ARC as we refer to it, opened in May 2017 and has around 1.4 million visitors a year. So it actually blew away the business case for the facility itself before we even opened the doors. Record membership, and it has retained the highest membership of any facility in Australia indeed. So we welcome this opportunity to partner, and of course partnerships in today's world are critical for success, and the money that's contributed by the state government, $2.5 million, is a welcome boost to the project itself and ensuring that it goes ahead, but importantly that the outcomes meet the needs of the changing requirements. Women in football, as we were designing this facility 7 years ago, the concept of women playing football wasn't really evident. Otherwise we would have incorporated that concept. So the new facility will accommodate change rooms and other facilities for women in sport, and of course the facility here itself open to the community as well going forward. So again, thank you to the state government. We appreciate your contribution, but we also appreciate your contribution to community across the state of Western Australia. All local governments are out there trying to raise money, get money to build facilities, and to get this announcement today is absolutely wonderful for our community going forward. So thank you. And I'd now like to call forward Simon Garlick from the Fremantle Dockers. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier, and thank you, Mr Mayor, and welcome everyone to the Cockburn ARC, and particularly the Victor George Kalis Oval, which is the centre of of our contribution and an important facility today. We've got the men who are making a bit of noise. They're obviously wanting a bit of attention given we're talking about female footy, but let's ignore them for the moment. They'll get their time in the next couple of days. I'd like to, on behalf of the Fremantle Football Club, I'd particularly like to thank the state government, particularly the Premier and Minister Templeman, for their vision, commitment and support to what is some sorely needed facilities. Mayor Hallett talked about the Cockburn ARC, which is a phenomenal facility in its totality, but having the capability now to open up this oval for community usage over and above the elite level from our AFL team and AFLW is a phenomenal outcome for the health and well-being of Western Australian youth, particularly in this southwest corridor. Female football in particular, from grassroots through to junior community female football, elite pathways all the way up to AFLW, along with all abilities football and general community football, will be able to be played here over a weekend, training during the night as well too, which is a phenomenal outcome for all involved. I'd like to pay tribute also to our partners and friends in the City of Cockburn, the AFL and the Western Australian Football Commission, represented by their CEO Michael Roberts here today, who are also partnering and making a significant contribution to making this all happen. Talking about female football, I'd like to introduce one of our legends, AFLW legends in Gabby O'Sullivan, to say a few words.
Take questions. I think if anyone's got any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I think I'd like to say I've been here since the start of Cockburn ARC opening, and since then there's been a lot of advancement in female footy, but to see the state government, Cockburn, the football club, AFL, really dig deep into their pockets to put together this new infrastructure is really exciting, and we're really grateful for it. As Garlo said, it allows other community programs to be ran for the girls standing behind me, and for myself, I'm really passionate about women in sport, so really grateful for this opportunity and what's to come.
In terms of chasing elusive first premiership, what these facilities do?
Oh, absolutely. It adds to the professionalism of the elite pathway that we're trying to travel, and again to have our own space now. Back in 2017, as the Mayor said, when it first opened, it wasn't designed to house us. So whilst these facilities have done us well, I think this just adds another level of professionalism to our team, and just another thing that will help us, reach that elusive premiership.
Has there been challenges? Has it been difficult sharing facilities?
Yes and no. I think with the COVID climate, it's probably been a little bit more challenging with the access times and things like that. But we just make do, really. The girls are all really just here to enjoy the ride, and we're not worried about, at the moment, the size of the change rooms or anything like that. But in saying that, we're really excited to see these new ones being built.
What sort of things have you been missing out on facilities-wise until now, and what will you be able to do going forward?
It's hard to tell you what we've been missing out on without having experienced it in the first place, but I know things that they're adding, larger change rooms for the girls, so we have a little bit more space, a few more showers, just really facilities that help out females wherever we need it, really.
So, looks like there might be a bit of seating here. I'm not sure if there's any plans to maybe include some famous names in the new change rooms or in the new seating spots or anything like that. We've got the George Carlos Oval.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we'll work through in time. Nothing concrete as yet too. We're just really fortunate enough to only recently have been able to confirm the support of the state government that's so critical in allowing these facilities to be built. So that's all the fun stuff that we can look to do. Gabby's touched upon it. I think the growth in female football is just unbelievable. Gabby is a trailblazer along with our other team who've made do, but they've been such a critical and important part of our club, and clearly going to be forever more now. To be able to have equitable facilities is critically important, but just as important is that community element too. So girls that we see here today who aspire to be the next Gabby O'Sullivan or Hayley Miller have the ability to do so in change rooms that befit who they are.
When are these facilities expected to be up and running?
Yeah, we're hoping to work through and start construction in the early part of next year and be up and running with expecting it to be around a 12-month build, so moving forward to 2024.
Can I ask, have you had a close look at the broadcast deal, and do you have any fears for things that people might miss out on in WA?
We have, yeah. We're working through that at the moment. Largely speaking, there's not a significant change. The free-to-air access for our Western Australian viewers looks to be in reasonable state and not dissimilar to what it was previously. We're just working through the absolute detail of it. As I understand it, the exact same amount of free-to-air games that was in the previous agreement is going to be maintained. There's a different mix of them. And obviously you've heard about the Super Saturdays that's on free-to-air in the first 8 rounds, which is a slightly different change. But I think overall, achieving that balance of commercialising the game and able to get as much funding as possible through so we can do things like change room facilities and greater access to ovals and the like, whilst at the same time keeping footy as accessible as it can be. I think the AFL have achieved that balance really well.
Obviously, we're talking about how much female sport is growing. Do you think having first-class facilities like this will encourage the young ones to kind of come through?
Yeah, absolutely. You often hear the term, if you can't see it, it's hard to be it. So we're going to have capability now, even from a selfish perspective, being able to attract players to play for our AFLW team and show them facilities that are going to be the equal of any in the competition is really important. But it wasn't that long ago that I told my daughter, who's an aspiring AFLW player, when she asked me if she could play AFL, that I had to say no. And 3 years later, I was able to say she can, and that dream's now a reality for any girl coming through, junior female footballer coming through. And I think facilities like this just reaffirm that and enshrine it even in a greater level.
Gabby or Simon, do these facilities, do they put you above the rest of the pack, or do they bring you up to the pack?
I think they'll put us in front, to be frank. Clearly we're incredibly fortunate here. For our club, one of our core principles is to enrich our community and make the Freo family proud, and that's something that's occurred today. We feel incredibly fortunate that we have the Cockburn ARC right next door as part of our facility, because we come from the community. We think it's an incredibly important part of who we are. And so we haven't got a gated facility that no one can come into, which is a trend in elite sport across the world. We'll work through exactly how it compares to other clubs. We don't tend to take too much notice of other clubs and worry about what we can control. But I'd hazard a guess to say that these would be the equal, if not, once built, will be the equal to, if not better than most, if not all AFLW facilities.
Can I just ask something else? Has the club identified what caused that text error that saw other members' details sent to thousands of people?
Yeah, we've worked through that, and it's something we're finalising in the next couple of days as we communicate back to members. It was a result of a system breakdown that we've identified, have remedied, and are confident it won't be an issue moving forward.